I was 12 the first time I buried something alive. Not a body, not an animal, but something worse. Secret. One that's still breathing under the red soil behind our house in Easton, Illinois. My name is Ryder Callahan. I'm 33 now, a school counselor in Flagstaff, Arizona. But if you look closely, there's still a flicker of that broken boy in my eyes. It's the one who used to sleep fully clothed, sneakers on, in case the screaming started again. The one who watched his mother vanish into pills and his father into rage. The one who spent his childhood trying to protect a little sister with eyes too soft for a world this hard. This story isn't just mine, it's hers too. Lily Callahan gave my firefly in the dark. And this. This is how we burned through hell and still found the stars. Easton was a town the map forgot. It's not quite farmland. It's not quite forest. Just a sagging cluster of brick houses, rusted mailboxes, and silence so deep it hurt your ears. There was one diner, one school, and one bar, Knuckles, named for what usually happened outside it. We lived on the edge of town, in a gray house that leaned like it wanted to run. The walls were thin, the air was thick. My father, Tom Callahan, was a man made of fists and fumes. Mom used to be something else. There's a photo of her at 20, in a yellow sundress, playing guitar in front of a campfire. That version of her vanished the year Lily was born, replaced by a trembling ghost who lived on our floral couch and chain-smoked until the ashtray overflowed like a volcano. I was 5 when I started changing Lily's diapers. 8 when I learned how to scramble eggs. 11 when I stopped expecting birthdays. My father didn't hit me often, not with his hands, but words. He knew how to bruise with those. Grow the hell up, Ryder. Be a man. You want to end up like your crackhead mother? You think you're better than me? No, Dad. I never thought I was better. Just different. I'm just trying to survive. Lily used to draw suns on every scrap of paper she could find. Bright yellow orbs with long wiggly rays. This one's for your pocket, she'd say, slipping one into my hoodie, in case the dark gets mean again. I still have one. Folded soft from years of worry and sweat, the dark always got mean. I remember the night everything started to change. I was 15. Lily was 8. And it was snowing hard. One of those silent, thick snows that makes the world feel padded and fake. My father hadn't come home. Mom was passed out, a bottle of gin rolling on the floor by her hand. I tucked Lily in, kissed her forehead, and went to bed fully dressed, like always. At 2:13 a.m., the door slammed. Heavy footsteps. The smell of gasoline and rage. Then came the yelling. Not just the usual slurs and accusations. This was different. Desperate. Scared. She took it, Dad shouted. She took the goddamn money. I peeked through the crack in the bedroom door and saw him wild-eyed, soaked in snow, pacing like a caged wolf. She stole from me, he roared, kicking over the coffee table. Then he grabbed Mom by the wrist, shook her. Where is it? She moaned, slurred something about the medicine. He hit her. That was the first time I stepped in. I flew down the stairs, all knees in fear, and shoved him with every ounce of weight my skinny frame could muster. Leave her alone. He turned him, eyes hollow, lip curled, and for a moment I thought he might kill me. But then he laughed. A low, humorless chuckle that chilled me more than the snow outside. You think you're brave now? He whispered. You think this ends with her? That night I didn't sleep. I sat on the floor in front of Lily's door, holding a bad-eyed hidden behind the water heater, waiting. The next day, Mom was gone. Just gone. No note. No explanation. Her purse still hung on the hook, her toothbrush still in the cup. Dad told us she'd run off with a man from church. I didn't believe him, neither did Lily, but we didn't ask. That was the rule in our house. Never ask. Never tell. Just bury it deep. Weeks passed. The bruises faded. The silence returned. And then came the letter. A plain white envelope, no return address. It's just my name in shaky cursive. Inside was one sentence. He's not your real father. You have to protect her now. I read it 20 times. Memorized every curl of the letters. Was it from Mom? A neighbor? God, I didn't know. But something inside me shifted. I stopped being a scared boy. I became a soldier. Over the next 2 years, I kept my head down. I studied hard, worked part-time at the gas station, and started hiding cash in a shoebox under the floorboard. For Lily, for escape. But life doesn't let you go easy. The summer I turned 17, Dad got sick. Not cancer or anything noble. Just years of rot liver, lungs, soul. His body started giving up before he did. He was meaner then. Weaker, but meaner. It's like a dying animal lashing out at whoever came close. One night he said something I'll never forget. "You think you can run from me, Ryder?" He rasped. "I'll always be part of you. You'll never be clean." I didn't respond, just stared at him until he passed out. Then I went outside, dug a hole behind the garage, and buried the letter. I didn't want to see it anymore. Didn't want to believe it. But I knew it was true. He wasn't my father. But he was still the devil in my blood. That fall, I got accepted to Northern Arizona University on a full scholarship. I cried alone in the bathroom when I got the email. Lily was 11, now smart, artistic, full of fire. I told her everything would be okay. I'd find a way to bring her with me. But 2 weeks before I left, the social worker came. Someone had called anonymously. An investigation. Our father might lose custody, but not to me. I was still a minor, barely 17. Lily might be placed in foster care. That night, she sat on my bed, clutching one of her son drawings. "I don't want to go," she whispered. "You won't," I promised. But I was wrong. 3 days before I left for Flagstaff, the state took her. Just like that. Gone. The last thing she said was, "Don't forget me." They placed Lily in a foster home somewhere in Springfield, 2 hours away. I wasn't allowed to contact her, not directly. I wasn't even allowed to know the address. It's for her safety, they said. As if I'd ever be the danger. I started college in Flagstaff with a hurricane in my chest. On the outside, I was a scholarship kid, with neat folders and big dreams. But inside, I was a brother, unraveling one thread at a time. The dorms were loud, too many people. Too many lives brushing against mine. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake at 2 a.m., heart racing, because I swore I heard Lily calling my name through the floor vents. I tried writing letters, sent them to the child welfare office. Never heard back. I called every number I could. No one would tell me where she was. They said she was doing okay. But what I knew what okay meant in their world. So I started keeping a notebook. The Lily Journal. Every day I wrote a message to her. Sometimes one line, sometimes pages. "Today, I saw a girl with your laugh. I almost followed her. I dreamt about the sun in your pocket. I'm still looking for you." During the day, I studied psychology. I was obsessed with why people hurt each other, why some parents destroy what they're supposed to protect. I wanted answers no textbook could give. One professor, Dr. Miles, noticed me. He was tall, quiet, with deep smile lines and eyes that seemed to see past your words. "You write like you're trying to save someone?" he said after reading my midterm essay. "I am," I replied. He didn't ask who, just nodded. That winter, I got a job at a crisis center. Phone work. Late shifts. Talking strangers down from the edge. Most nights I'd walk home in the snow, voice raw, soul shaking, but I felt useful, like I was paying off a debt. My father died 3 months later. Liver failure, no funeral, no obituary. Just a phone call from the sheriff. "You're listed as next of kin. Do you want the body?" I laughed. Not out of joy, but because how could someone who never felt like family be next of kin? Signed the release forms and hung up. That night I walked into the woods behind campus and screamed. I screamed until my throat tore, until snow soaked through my jeans, till every ghost I'd carried since Haven Creek seemed to rise from the trees. Then I went home and slept for 14 hours. That was the day the nightmares stopped, but the emptiness didn't. Lily was still missing from my life. I tried hiring a private investigator. He found one lead. Family named Martinez had fostered a girl named Lily Callahan for 3 months before she was moved again. Too quiet, they said. Didn't trust anyone. I don't blame her. After that, nothing. The trail went cold. By my junior year, I'd stopped trying to find her through the system. I started preparing to build my own. Graduated with honors and went straight into a master's program in counseling. Got certified, did internships in trauma centers. Worked overtime, slept on couches, ate ramen. But every room I entered, I kept my eyes open. For her, for anyone like her, one year I took a job at a high school in Mesa, The district was rough, underfunded. But the students, God, the students, they reminded me of home. Of Lily. Of what survival looked like in different skin. There was a girl, Jasmine. 13, wore hoodies in 90-degree heat, carried her grief in her shoulders. One day she came to my office, silent. She handed me a folded drawing. It was a sun. Yellow, wiggly rays. "Found it in the hallway," she whispered. "Thought you'd like it." My hands shook as I took it. She had no way of knowing unless... I stood up so fast, my chair rolled back and slammed into the bookshelf. "Where did you get this?" I asked. Jasmine flinched. I softened, sat down. "Sorry, Who made this?" She shrugged. It was taped to a locker. No name. I walked the halls like a ghost that week, searching every locker, every face. But I didn't find her. I pinned the sun drawing above my desk. Another message from the universe. Keep going. I moved again. Flagstaff, took a counseling job at a quieter school, bought a second-hand pickup, adopted a rescue dog named August who liked to chew only left shoes, and I kept writing in the Lily Journal. "I saw a woman today who looked like you." Her voice was wrong. But I still followed her for 3 blocks. "I'm not angry anymore, just empty. Please let me find you before I forget your laugh." Then came the letter. It arrived in the spring, no return address. But the handwriting. I knew it before I even opened the flap. Just one line, I remember the sun. "Are you still carrying it?" I collapsed onto the kitchen floor. My hands shook. My throat burned. August whined and licked my ear, but I couldn't move. She was alive. She remembered. She was reaching out. Inside the envelope was a phone number and a name. Lucy Ellis. It had to be fake, a safe name, but I didn't care. I dialed it at 2:08 a.m. The phone rang 3 times. Then hello. A voice, young, soft, nervous. "Lily," I whispered. Silence, then a breath, then, "Hi, Ryder." Her voice was both familiar and foreign, like hearing your favorite lullaby through a wall. "Aye, Ryder," she said again, barely above a whisper. I couldn't speak at first. My throat was a knot. My brain stuck in rewind. Flipping through every memory of her bare feet on the hardwood floor, sun drawings in my hoodie, her tiny hand in mine the day they took her. "Is it really you?" I asked. She gave a breathless laugh. "I guess you're still dramatic." That one line shattered me. I pressed the phone tighter to my ear, afraid she'd vanish again. "Where are you?" "How did you find me? Are you safe?" "I'm okay. I'm better," she said. "I found your letters." "What?"
Oh.
She explained slowly. Apparently, one of the social workers kept a folder of every letter I had sent, unopened, unread, collecting dust in a locked cabinet. When Lily turned 18, they gave her the file. Said, "We thought you should know someone tried." She read every letter that night. All of them, I asked, stunned. "Every single one," she said. "It's even the ones where you told me about ramen and the girl who stole your backpack." I laughed, tears finally falling. "Why didn't you reach out sooner?" I asked. "I was scared that you'd moved on, that you hated me." I swallowed. "Never, not even for a second." The line went quiet, but I could hear her breathing. "I go by Lucy now," she said. "It helped to change things, to leave some of it behind." "That's okay," I said. "You can be Lucy. You can be anything. Just don't disappear again." "I won't," she whispered. We spoke for 3 hours that night. She told me how she'd bounced between 7 different foster homes, some decent, some not. Her voice changed when she mentioned one in Peoria, and I didn't push. Some doors should be opened only when you're ready. She was living in Tucson now, working part-time at a bookstore.
What?
Studying to be a therapist. "I figured I'd follow your footsteps a little," she said. I nearly choked. "You remember that? You always said you wanted to fix broken hearts, not just patch them." She remembered more than I expected. We ended the call just before sunrise. "I want to see you," I said. "I want that too," she replied. But she didn't give a date, and something in her voice made me pause. A week passed. I didn't hear from her. I called again.
Oh.
No answer. Texted nothing. I started spiraling. What if she changed her mind? What if someone found out she'd contacted me and silenced her? What if? Then, one morning, I found something on my doorstep. A small envelope. No postage. Just my name, written in the same gentle handwriting as before. Inside was a drawing. A single yellow sun with long, wiggly rays. Underneath it, Saturday. 6 p.m. Desert Springs. Back patio, no signature, but I knew. Desert Springs sat on the edge of town, tucked between a hiking trail and a sleepy highway. The kind of place that sold both lavender lemonade and car oil. I arrived at 3:45, hands sweating. The back patio was empty wooden benches, string lights, a cactus, and a rusted barrel. At exactly 4 p.m., she walked in. She wore black jeans and a forest green sweater. Her hair was longer now, tied into a messy bun. But her eyes, still that same impossible blue. Lily. Lucy. My sister. She saw me and froze. Then she smiled. Not wide. Not dramatic. Just enough. I stood slowly. We didn't run into each other's arms like in the movies. We just stood there, letting the moment breathe. Finally, she said, "You look taller. You look real." She laughed. "I am." We sat down. I couldn't stop looking at her. Her nose ring, the scar on her left wrist, the way she picked at the cardboard sleeve of her drink. All signs of the years I missed. She told me bits and pieces of her journey. The foster system. The families who meant well, but didn't try hard enough. The nights she stared at the ceiling, wondering if I'd forgotten her. "I never did," I said again. "I know that now," she replied. We talked until the cafe closed. Then we sat in the parking lot, leaning against my truck, staring at the stars. "Do you remember what you told me when we were little?" She asked. "Which part?" "That we'd live somewhere with open windows and no yelling." I smiled. "Yeah, and sunflowers on the porch." She nodded. "I still want that." "So do I." Then her face darkened. She turned to me. "I need to tell you something." My stomach dropped. "I wasn't just scared of seeing you," she said. "I was scared of what I'd bring with me." I blinked. "What do you mean?" She reached into her bag and pulled out a small object. It was a necklace, a silver locket. I remembered it. It had belonged to her mom. "I found this hidden in a book," she said. "In my second foster home. It was wrapped in a note. From her." My breath caught. "She didn't run away," Lucy said. "She was taken." I stared at the locket in Lucy's hand like it might explode. "She was taken," I echoed, my voice brittle. Lucy nodded. "It sounds crazy, but the note inside, it wasn't written by her. It was written to her." She handed me the slip of paper. Faded, crinkled at the edges, smelling faintly of smoke and lemon detergent. "If you run again, it won't be just you they come for. Keep quiet. We're always watching. No name, no date. Just those 18 words scrawled in jagged pen. A coldness crept into my spine. "Who's they?" I whispered. "I don't know," Lucy replied. "But I think Mom tried to run, and someone stopped her." My hand shook as I turned the note over, searching for more. A clue, a sign. "Anything. That's not all," Lucy said. She reached into her bag again and pulled out a photograph. Old, slightly bent. It showed our mom standing in front of a brick building I didn't recognize. Her arms were crossed, her eyes wary. Next to her stood a man, not our father, a tall man in a gray suit, smiling like a politician. His hand was on her shoulder. On the back of the photo, someone had written, "KTN MC -1997. My brain raced. "KT, that's not Dad's initials." Lucy shook her head. "I think it's the man in the photo. And I think he's the reason Mom disappeared." I felt like the air had been sucked from the world. Everything I believed, that Mom gave up, that she left us, that we were abandoned. It all shifted like a fault line cracking beneath my feet. "What do we do?" I asked. Lucy hesitated. "Then, I've already started looking." She pulled out her phone and showed me a web page, a grainy scan of an old local newspaper article. "State official linked to missing woman case. New leads emerge." The photo was fuzzy, but it was the same man from the picture. KT. Real name, Kenneth Turner. He was a deputy director of the Illinois Department of Human Services in the late 90s. quietly retired in 2001 after a string of accusations, none of which ever made it to court. He was involved in multiple foster home scandals, Lucy explained. Abuse, trafficking, but it was all buried. Every time someone spoke up, the evidence disappeared. Jesus, I muttered. I think he knew Mom, Lucy continued. And I think she threatened to expose something, and they made her disappear, I finished. Lucy nodded. We sat in silence for a while, the wind stirring dust across the parking lot. Finally I stood. We're going back to Easton. We drove out the next morning. Just like that. 2 kids chasing ghosts on empty roads. August rode in the back seat, head out the window, tongue flapping like a flag of hope. Lucy hadn't been back since they took her. I always imagined this moment, she said quietly. That if I ever returned, it'd be for revenge or closure. I didn't expect this. I glanced over at her. She looked like someone still holding a match over gasoline, unsure if she'd drop it. What if you? I said. Whatever happens. She smiled faintly. I know. Easton hadn't changed. Still that same sagging town where hope went to rot. The Callahan house was empty. Windows boarded. Grass like razors. A foreclosure notice curled on the mailbox. I walked around back, heart pounding. The tree I used to climb still stood. Bent, half dead, but standing, and beyond it, it's a patch of dirt where I buried the letter. I knelt down and started digging. Lucy watched silently. I found it. Wrapped in plastic, still intact. I unrolled it. Read the words again. He's not your real father. You have to protect her now. I showed it to Lucy. Didn't speak. But I saw the truth hit her, like it had hit me years ago. He wasn't your dad either, I whispered. Just the monster we were stuck with. Lucy crouched beside me. I want to find out who it was. I looked at her, and if we do, her jaw tightened. Then we find out why they left us with him. We started with county records. Lucy was smart. She'd already combed through old addresses, court filings, even obituaries. We pieced together a rough timeline. Our mom, Meredith Callahan, had been part of a witness program in 1996. That was the year before she married Tom Callahan. There was no official marriage certificate, no license. No records linking her to him before then, which means... I murmured. She was placed with him, Lucy finished, intentionally. We pulled everything we could find on Kenneth Turner, and there it was. Sealed court document from 1995, protective placement of witness MC under temporary guardian KACAA, court-appointed adult Tom Callahan. Our supposed father? They handed her over to him. Like property. I felt sick. She was never free, Lucy whispered. We sat in the library until closing time, surrounded by documents, clippings, and the weight of truth. Someone powerful had tried to erase our mother. The cracks were showing. Like that night, we stayed at a cheap motel on the edge of town. Lucy couldn't sleep. She sat by the window, staring into the dark. She tried to escape, she said suddenly. And they punished her by taking us. I joined her, but she left the locket. The note, she didn't stop fighting. Lucy turned to me, eyes glassy. What if she's still alive? The thought was wild, impossible, but not untrue. She'd vanished, but there'd never been a body. No record of death, no funeral, just silence. I reached out, took Lucy's hand. We find out. We left Easton at sunrise, the sky gray and bruised. Lucy was silent for most of the drive, flipping the locket over and over in her palm. I could see her mind unraveling questions faster than either of us could answer. Where do we start? I finally asked. She looked at me, then out the window. There's one place left, one person who might still know something. Who? She hesitated. My old foster parent, the one who gave me the locket. My grip on the wheel tightened, the one you never talk about. She nodded slowly. Her name was Joy McCready. She had me for 4 months when I was 12. I don't remember much, but I remember the way she watched the windows at night, like someone was coming. We found her living in a trailer outside of Peoria, Illinois. Bright pink curtains, wind chimes made of old spoons. She opened the door in a faded robe, eyes sharp as glass. Lucy stepped forward, cautious. Joy? Joy's eyes flicked to her face, then widened. Lucy, she breathed. I thought they'd... She stopped, covered her mouth. They'd what? I asked, stepping beside my sister. Joy looked at both of us, then behind us, scanning the horizon. Finally, she stepped back. Get inside, quickly. Her trailer smelled of lavender and mothballs. Pictures of saints hung beside dusty dreamcatchers. It was both sacred and scarred. She poured us tea with trembling hands. I always knew this day would come, she said, setting the mugs down. You two were never meant to disappear. Why did you give me the locket? Lucy asked. Joy sat down, her back creaking like old wood. Because I knew your mother. Before everything. Before she was hidden. My chest constricted. You knew Meredith Callahan? I asked. She nodded. Before she was Meredith, her real name was Morgan Keller. That name hit like thunder in my ribs. She was supposed to testify in a state corruption case. Kenneth Turner, your suit man, was part of it. A whole network of illegal placements, bribed caseworkers, money laundering through fake foster programs. And she was the whistleblower, Lucy whispered. Joy nodded, but someone flipped. The safe house she was staying in, it was compromised. They killed her handler. She escaped. With you too. My head spun. We were with her the whole time. I asked. You were babies. She changed your names. Hid in small towns. Tried to vanish. But Turner had reach. She was cornered. That's when she accepted the deal. Protective placement. That's when she was assigned to Tom Callahan. Joy's hands began to shake. He wasn't vetted. He was part of the network. A handler. She was placed in the lion's den. They knew she'd never make it out. Lucy's eyes welled. Why didn't anyone help her? Joy looked at her, voice trembling. Because we were all scared. The room felt heavy. Like the past had finally crawled out from under the floorboards. She disappeared when I was 8, Lucy whispered. We thought she abandoned us. Joy closed her eyes. I never believed that. I think she tried to run again, and they made her vanish for good. Do you think she's still alive? I asked. Joy hesitated. I don't know, she said, but I kept something, just in case. She stood slowly, walked to a cabinet, and returned with a thick envelope. Inside, photos, letters, and one burned document. Half charred but still legible. A birth certificate. Morgan Keller, daughter. Lillian Claire, Keller's son. Ryder James Keller. Our real names. Our real selves. I tried to keep these hidden, Joy said. But they searched the house once. Took what they wanted. Yes, this is all I have left. Lucy reached for the documents with shaking hands. There was also a note scrawled in hurried ink. If you ever find this, find Gloria. She knows where I went. Who's Gloria? I asked. Joy's eyes darkened. Her sister, our aunt. We left Joy with a hug that lasted longer than it should have. She whispered to Lucy. You're stronger than all of them combined. Then she kissed my forehead and said, You never stop searching. That matters. We drove through the night. Gloria Keller lived in a retirement home in Iowa. She'd gone off-grid years ago. No family, no visitors. But she was still breathing, still waiting. Lucy held the folder against her chest like a life raft. Do you think she knows what happened? She asked. I didn't answer. I was scared too, because if Gloria did know, then we might finally hear the truth. And I wasn't sure we were ready. We reached the home just after 10 a.m. It was quiet. White walls, clean hallways. The nurse showed us to Gloria's room. She was sitting by the window, wrapped in a blue shawl. Her hair white, her eyes watery but alert. When she turned and saw us, her teacup fell from her hand. You're... them, she whispered. I stepped forward. Ryder and Lucy. She covered her mouth. I knew this day would come, she said, echoing Joy's words. We sat beside her. Lucy took her hand gently. Did you know our mother? She asked. Gloria nodded, eyes brimming. She was my little sister. Brave, reckless, good. Where is she? I asked. Gloria's voice cracked. She's alive. She's alive. Those two words hit like lightning in silence at once. Lucy gasped. I leaned forward, barely able to breathe. Gloria nodded again, her voice trembling. They tried to kill her. Twice, but she outsmarted them. She had help, real help. People on the inside who owed her their lives. But why didn't she come for us? Lucy whispered, her voice cracked open. Gloria reached for her hand, because she believed if she got too close, they'd kill you. She had to vanish. For your safety. I clenched my fists. She could have left something. A letter. Anything she did, Gloria said, her eyes locking onto mine. She left me with a box. But she told me only to open it if you ever found me, she thought. You might never come. Lucy's voice was a whisper. Where is she now? Gloria stood slowly, opened a closet, and pulled out a locked tin chest. She set it down and opened it with a small silver key she wore around her neck. Inside was a manila envelope, worn soft by years. A phone number, a photo, a handwritten letter addressed to my sons. Lucy covered her mouth. I just stared. Gloria handed the envelope to Lucy. She never stopped watching, never stopped loving you. We didn't open the letter right away. We needed to see her. The number connected us to a woman named Anna, Morgan's contact, former DHS agent, the one who helped her disappear. I've been waiting for this call for 17 years, Anna said. I'll bring her to you. The meeting was set for dusk. A clearing just outside the Red Rocks in Arizona. Neutral ground, quiet, safe. Lucy wore the green sweater again. I brought the locket. We waited in silence. Then a car pulled up. The door opened, and she stepped out. Older, thinner, but unmistakably her. Morgan Keller, our mother. She didn't run to us. She just stood there, trembling. Ryder, Lucy. I blinked, stepping forward slowly. Lucy followed. Then she fell to her knees, arms wide. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I'm so sorry. I never stopped loving you. I never stopped looking. I couldn't. Lucy dropped beside her first, wrapping her arms around her. I followed. For the first time in over 2 decades, we were whole again. We stayed like that for what felt like forever. 3 broken people stitched together by tears. She pulled back and looked at us, hands on our cheeks like we were still 5 and 8. You made it, she whispered. So did you, I said. That night we sat by a fire in Anna's desert cabin. Morgan told us everything. How she testified, how she was betrayed, how Tom Callahan was supposed to be her protector, but turned out to be the jailer. How she tried to run with us, but they caught her, threatened us, monitored her every move, till Anna faked her death with the help of a rogue medic and buried her name for good. I watched you both from afar, she said. School photos, report cards. I knew I couldn't touch your life, but I never missed a moment. Lucy was silent. Finally, she said, you left us in a nightmare. Morgan nodded. I know. I'll never forgive myself. But you came back, I said softly. And that matters. We didn't fix everything overnight. Healing took time. There were scars, questions, flashbacks. But we stayed connected. Lucy moved to Flagstaff, finished her degree, started working at the same school I did. Mom lived with Gloria. They built a garden together. Just outside the trailer, she planted sunflowers, tall, proud, facing the light. I went back to that spot behind the Easton house and dug up the rest of the letters I'd buried over the years. I burned them, let the smoke rise. I didn't need them anymore. 1 year later, we opened the Morgan Keller Foundation to help survivors of institutional abuse and fractured families reconnect, heal, and speak truth. We told our story, anonymously at first, then publicly. We got hate, but we got hope too. Thousands of letters, emails, people who thought they were alone, realizing they weren't. And one day, while sorting mail for the foundation, we got a yellow envelope from a girl in Michigan. Inside, a drawing of a sun with wiggly rays. My name is Grace. My foster family hurt me, but I kept this sun in my notebook. It made me brave. My counselor gave me your address. Thank you for reminding me to keep going. I cried for an hour that night. So did Lucy. So did Mom. I tell this story now because some scars don't show, because somewhere, someone's sitting in silence thinking no one will ever believe them. But I believe you. I see you. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're surviving. And survival is the most sacred kind of strength. The world tried to bury us, but we bloomed, just like sunflowers, just like Lily said we would. Now I ask you, What would you do if the people who were supposed to love you became your greatest danger? Would you forgive them, or would you free yourself? Tell me in the comments. We're listening.